Hey, it's James again. So we just got done with doing that first handout, your dream job plan. And so now that we know why we're doing this whole thing and who we are, we already knew who you were. Now that we know like kind of who we are as an applicant and what we want out of this experience, this job hunting experience, what we want out of this career, and also what makes us stand out above other candidates and what we might need to work on a little bit. Now we're ready to go and kind of tackle the first step of putting ourselves out there, and that is our social presence online. And, in person too, but let's start with online. That's a little bit more manageable. Okay, you know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say LinkedIn. So if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, first of all, not shame on you, but we're going to assume from now on that you have a LinkedIn profile in this course. So if you don't have one, it's time to make one. The good news is, it doesn't take that long to make one, maybe like an hour to get all the pertinent information in there. And you definitely have an hour to do stuff like this. This is very important, and the payoff is just enormous. I mean, once you put it up, the profile, then people will see it forever. So people will be able to find you and approach you about job opportunities, and all you did was spend an hour setting this thing up. So the payoff's enormous. So let's open up the handout for Spruce Up Your Social in 10 quick steps. And so most of the steps are with regards to LinkedIn. So no matter what your resume looks like right now, whether it's like super polished or whether it's pretty rough, you can still put whatever you have basically on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is somewhat forgiving. You can put something that's not it doesn't have to be pretty, because LinkedIn is all the same format. You don't have to worry about that anymore. So we're going to start with step one. Just do work history. Put your positions, short paragraph of what you did and why it mattered. So every position you do, every position you put up should have this. It should have at least one big thing that you did, your contribution to the role, to the company, to the team. And you'd like to use some kind of numbers to quantify your contribution. So, for example, maybe you improved the cycle time of a development project by 20% over previous efforts. Or maybe you doubled lead conversions in 3 months. Or maybe you led a team of 5 to manage their design processes. So, have something like that so people can kind of get their arms around what you did there. You also want to add any industry-specific terms, tools, practices, and LinkedIn is actually really good about suggesting these for you, so I don't need to tell you what they are. Step 2, photo. Just find a professional photo of yourself. It doesn't need to be taken by a professional, but you looking like a professional in your job, in the job you want. Guys, typically nice shirt. Depends on your job role. Could be a tie, could be a suit. I would say at least a collared, buttoned-up shirt. And ladies, I'm not an expert on ladies' attire, so I'll leave that to you. But I'm sure you have a much better idea about it than I do. And then step 3, you just want to add a headline for your profile. It brands you, it gets you attention. You can be a little creative with this, like, for me, for example, I'm a system engineer at SpaceX. I could say rocket scientist or something. That's not really, it's kind of corny, but I could say something like building the future on Mars at SpaceX or something like that. Or I could just say like system engineering expert, or system engineer at my company, or just the role system engineer. And you can do that too. It doesn't need to be anything you worry too much about. So next, your summary section is pretty much like your the top section of your resume. And so that's actually something you've already written, because you've written your positioning statement from your dream job plan handout. Just copy and paste it. That's all. Next, spend a little time poking around LinkedIn and look for groups that are compatible with who you are professionally and as a person, and sort of what you're looking for. So if you're looking for a chemical engineering position in Houston, Texas, then I would follow the ChemEase group. I would also follow the Jobs in Houston group. I would also follow the Dallas Cowboys. Just stuff that is going to give you a sense of, what are people in that environment talking about, because that's really what LinkedIn is. Honestly, just a big, huge conversation in the professional realm. So, I would add some of those groups, because what that's going to do is it's going to make LinkedIn a much more useful experience for you. Pretty much it's like your likes on Facebook. You're going to get a feed. It's called Pulse, and it's pretty much going to give you relevant headlines, and it's going to tell you about job opportunities in the areas that you said you're interested in. So that'll be cool. So just sign up for a few of those. Also, if you've got anything that you've written or produced or created that's on the web, or that you can put on the web, edit it, and you can post it as a LinkedIn post and share it with the world. This will show, for one thing, that you've kind of got something to say about the subject. It'll also, put you. It's kind of the thing that can make you stand out at this point, because 10 years ago or like 8 years ago when I joined LinkedIn, just being on LinkedIn made you stand out, but now everyone's on. So if you're not on, then you're already behind the eight ball. But what can make you stand out is, it's pretty much having something to say in the space. So having a post is a great way to show who you are, what you're interested in, and kind of what you can do. And then the next 3 steps are really just like, just Facebook. It's kind of your basic social profile cleanup stuff. Take down your drunk pics, unless you're working with a company that admires that. I don't know if there are any companies like that, but if there are, that's cool, and I would definitely encourage you to apply. I would also take down any political rants, anything else that makes you kind of look like a possible liability in the company. And I would also just start occasionally posting stuff you're interested about that kind of fits with your professional aspirations. If you're interested in virtual reality, just cool videos that you come across about Oculus, or any of the other cool companies that are doing cool stuff out there. So you don't have to change your personality, but it does help if employers can see your personal sort of professional posts at least once in a while. And if you post these, it doesn't hurt to make them public and set most of your other stuff to private. Because then that way, when employers look for you, they will only see the stuff you want them to see. And then also joining groups. It's like LinkedIn. You can join groups for professional purposes on Facebook as well. Also, Twitter. Twitter can be cool. If you are not serious about using it, just take down anything that's like super egregious. And then, bonus step, if you're thinking about getting a website, this is totally optional, because honestly, LinkedIn is the easiest way to get a professional presence online. But if you're interested in getting a website, there's a lot of great and easy templates where you can do this. You can pretty much just have a very minimal version where you can just put your summary, link to your LinkedIn, link to any companies that you are working for, and just leave it at that. That's how my profile was when I was looking for jobs. And also a picture of myself. Just very minimal, but it's fine. And it did the job. A bonus step, you don't have to do this, but domain names are cool. I think it's domain name is a great thing to have at this point, because you'll probably use your own website at some point in your life. So why not grab it? But honestly, if you think that's not relevant, don't even worry about it. So anyways, with just an hour or so, you've created a LinkedIn page, you've made it something that is interesting for people to discover, and you've also done the same to your Facebook. And so now I want you to just start looking for people that you know on LinkedIn, start adding people, and I would encourage you to just add anybody that you feel comfortable talking with about professional kind of things. And that should be anybody that you know from school, or know from who just you interact with like on a professional basis. And we'll work on how to approach people on LinkedIn if you want a job, do all that stuff later. But for now, just adding people, it's really not a big deal. You don't have to overthink it. You can just click them, and then that's going to do it. All right, well, that's pretty much the handout for sprucing up your social in 23 steps. So I will see you in the other videos.